to Kush News, the newscast of the African diaspora. I'm your anchor, Ochanda, daily bringing you the top stories from Africa and the Caribbean. Let's take a look at today's news on Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. Let's go to Kenya, where the doctor strike has been called off. Doctors in Kenya on Wednesday ended their nationwide strike following the signing of a return to work agreement with the Ministry of Health.
We signed this particular return to work formula today so that it can pave way for the doctors to resume work within 24 hours from now. And that means the strike that began on 13th of March 2024 has been called off.
Last night, we left the Ministry of Health at 3 a.m. And the deal breaker was, is this a deal for execution or just for signing? And we agreed that it was a deal for execution. This strike has given us an opportunity to introspect and look inwards to see what can be done better for health workers in this country.
The implementation of what we have agreed upon is the beginning of the journey to make sure that we never have any more of this and call for disagreements that lead to strike.
On Wednesday ended their nationwide strike following the signing of a return to work agreement with the Ministry of Health. The agreement was signed in the presence of the head of public service, Felix Koske. Until Wednesday, the Kenyan Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union had been on strike for approximately 56 days. Doctors were protesting against salaries and working conditions, as well as the implementation of a collective bargaining agreement. Those in Kenya, let us know your thoughts on the doctors making agreement with the government. About time. Let us know if you have anybody that was in your life affected by doctors not being able or just refusing to work. Let's go to Nigeria, where the government refuses to host U.S. and French soldiers. The Nigerian government said this week that it has no plans to host foreign military bases within its borders. The Minister for Information, Muhammad Idris, described as the suspicion that the government was considering approving military bases for the United States and France following their ejection from neighboring Niger. Last year, the military in Niger, who carried out a coup, ordered both French and U.S. troops to leave the country. While France has announced that the withdrawal of its troops from the country, the U.S. has withdrawn most of its troops. There have been since concerns in Nigeria that the two Western powers are mounting pressure in Nigeria to host the bases. The Minister of Information recently said, quote unquote, "The federal government is not in such a discussion with any foreign country. We have neither received nor we are considering any proposals from any country on the establishment of any foreign military bases." Nigeria has had a history of rejecting requests from hosting United States militaries. In 2007, Nigeria rejected plans to host the U.S. African Military Command, known as the AFRICOM. The goal of the U.S. military's new African-wide command is to better protect America's strategic interests in Africa. Several countries, including Libya and South Africa, has joined Nigeria to express concern over AFRICOM on the continent. Many expressed reservations that the move could signal an expansion on U.S. influence and imperialism on the continent and may focus primarily on protecting American interests, particularly in petroleum and solid minerals. Those in Nigeria, let us know your thoughts on the speculation that there was even U.S. or French interest into having military bases in Nigeria. Also, let us know on where you stand. If that was true, were you against it or were you for it? Let's go to the Bahamas, where they are officially recognizing Palestine. The Bahamas is the latest Caribbean nation to formally recognize Palestine as a state. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced the development yesterday, saying, quote unquote, "The Bahamas believes that the recognition of the state of Palestine strongly demonstrates the Bahamas' commitment to the principles in the Charter of the United Nations, and also to the right of self-determination of peoples as articulated in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights." The ministry said the Bahamians support the legal right of the Palestinian people to freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. The government also noted that the Bahamas has previously endorsed a two-state solution for Palestine and Israel. The Bahamas joins Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Tobago as the recent Caribbean nations to officially recognize Palestine. Those in the Bahamas, let us know your thoughts on the government making official recognition of the state of Palestine. Are you for it, against it? Do you feel that they should stay out of it? When we come back, we'll have today's African proverb of the day. Don't go anywhere.
New release of the Spring Summer Collection. Visit www.mccadero.com.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's African proverb of the day, and it comes to us from the Caribbean nation of Antigua and Barbuda. What's going on? How you guys doing? And it reads, better man belly bust than good food waste. Once again, better man belly bust than good food waste. Antigua and Barbuda proverb. You don't know what's going on. And how I interpret this is that, you shouldn't be wasting things, especially things that, have a significance in your life. For instance, your own lives. Man, let me talk to my men out there. If you are a public nuisance, we like to call them thugs, gangsters, or con men, scammers. The ones that are about to go on that path, I want you to ask yourself, because essentially what you're doing is you are choosing a life of crime, because usually the country that you're living in, it's against the law. So you're essentially saying to yourself that you want to throw away your life. Just ask yourself, 20 years from now, do you want to look back and say, I wish I would have taken a second thought about the decision that I was going to make, or not? If you can live with that, go ahead, do it. Or if you can't, and if you can't fathom that you will go on a path that you might one day regret, drop it altogether. Your life should not be wasted. Let me know your interpretation of today's African proverb of the day, as well as your thoughts, views, questions, comments, and concerns on the top stories. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make it your best friend. For Kush News on Kush Convos TV, I'm Ochanda. We'll see you soon.